Okay, everybody, sorry for the interruptions during our meeting, our Google Meet, where I was trying to teach you this. So, as I said, I'm going to give you a quick video showing you some of the answers. A real quick recap. So, the first part was how you plug numbers into an equation. So, I've already got it set up for you here with the -3 blank plus 15. And when I say f of 4, that means you're going to replace that x with the 4. And you're going to work that out. -12 plus 15 is 3. The next one, g of 3. So remember that 3 is the x that you would replace in, and so that's going to be 9 plus 6 plus 1. So that's 16. And in the last one here, h of 4, that's my x is 4, and you're going to replace that into the 7x, which is 7 times 4, which is -28. The next three, you replace in -12, 36 plus 15, can't do that in my head, 51, and then -7 squared, 2 times -7, so that's going to be +49. Be careful about negatives, all right? And so this is going to be, I'll go 49 plus 1 is 50, minus that is equal to 36. h of -7, you're going to replace in the -7 in for the x, and that's going to be +49. And every one of these things refers to an ordered pair because the x is 4 and the y is 3, so this would be talking about the ordered pair 4, 3. This would be 3, 16. And this would be 4 comma -28, etc. And as I said, this bonus question is to say, can you solve when the f of x is equal to the g of x? And you're going to see it's a quadratic, right? You're going to have to bring everything to one side and factor. Question 2 was about the graph here, okay? Answering these same kind of questions with a graph. As I said, how do you know it's a function? A vertical line, okay, will not cross it twice at any particular spot. When I ask you what f of -2 is, that means at x equals -2, what's the y? So if you plug in x equals -2, it's going to refer to this ordered pair, -2 comma 2, so my y value is equal to 2. But actually, you don't have to write y equals 2. You just have to say it's equal to 2. And when I ask you what f of 5 is, that would be over here. And so you're going to be finding the location on the graph at x equals 5. And in this case, it's going to be at a height, or in fact, a depth of -2. And just like before, this refers to an ordered pair. This is 5 comma -2. The question was asking forwards. I plug in the x, what's the y? Now the next question is asking it in reverse. It's giving you the y value, okay, equals the y value equals +2. Find the x value. So here's my y value equals +2, and the way I was describing it to you guys was to say, think of it as a roller coaster. When is the height of this roller coaster? When is the y value going to be equal to 2? So there are two spots where this is going to occur. The first one that I found out already is at -2 comma 2. So my x value is -2. And then the second one is not so clear because it's in like an in-between spot. And as I said the first time through, I'm going to kind of guess and say it's approximately 3.3. That's the x value where the height of your roller coaster is at 2. And then the same kind of deal, question D is saying when is the height equal to 0? And that would be where the roller coaster is breaking through the x-axis. And the two locations where that occurs is at x equals -3 and x equals +4. And the initial value, as I said before, is the y-intercept. Refers to where it crosses the y-axis, which is equal to 3. Now I'm going to clean this up again and show you what I'm talking about increasing and decreasing. I'm going to color the increasing in yellow. Okay, so increasing is going to be referring to this portion, okay, moving along from x is equal to -6 until x is equal to 2. So that interval is x goes from -6 to 2. When I ask you where is this function decreasing, well, I'm going to put the highlighter blue for this one just to give you a little bit of a difference. And so it's decreasing on this portion of the graph from x equals 2 all the way to the right. Now, the part that I was trying to make clear to you guys in the class was, even though I'm moving down, I have to realize that I'm actually moving to the right also continuously. So the values where this function is decreasing, yeah, sure, it starts at x equals 2, but don't say it's going to negative infinity. That's a down version. I need the left-right version, so it's going all the way to the right, which is positive infinity. And you never include infinity when you have an interval. State the interval where the function is positive. So where is the function positive? Whoops, I'm going to put that in yellow again. So yellow is going to represent where the function is, colorblind teacher here. So yellow is going to be going over the x-axis or higher than the x-axis. That's where my function is positive. And you give me the x values for that from -3 until 4. And we're going to include both endpoints. Then when I ask you guys to tell me where this function is negative, that's where it's going to be below the x-axis. And so that's going to be in blue. So here's where it's negative here, and here's where it's negative here, okay? And that's going to be the interval from x starting at -6, right? Because that's where my function starts, until x equals -3. Union, which is basically saying we're going to connect both parts that are that we're talking about, from x equals 4 until x is equal to, same deal, positive infinity, like we saw before. And as I mentioned, there's a connection between the fact that these numbers match, right? That's the place where it actually hits the 0, right? If you looked at the answers to letter D, those are the places where it crosses the x-axis. Now, the last little bit about this that I didn't get to in class was domain and range. Domain and range refers to the leftmost place is to the rightmost place is the domain, okay? So in other words, if I was talking about this part here, okay, the graph starts on the left at x equals -6, and where does it end? Well, as I mentioned a couple of times already, this graph keeps going down and to the right. So it never really ends on the right side. So my domain is going to go from -6, it's a solid dot, so I'm going to include it, all the way to positive infinity. Now these are x values. When it comes to the range is going to be the y values, and it's the same thing except that instead of looking left to right, we got to be looking down to up. And I really want to make sure you understand that we have to go to lowest values first. Okay, so here's my, oh darn, I wanted to put that in blue. Here's my lowest value, okay, not getting that too well here. Okay, here's my lowest value in blue, and then it goes up, 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 and how high does that go on the graph? It goes up until a height of y is equal to, oh, not 6, okay, be able to count here, 4. So my range is the lowest point of the graph to the highest point of the graph, and they are y values. So in this case, it goes from -infinity, right, the depths of the graph, right off the scale, until x is equal to 4, y is equal to 4. So that is my range, and it's going to be solid because it actually reaches that height. Hopefully this is clear to you, okay, and you'll be able to do the next page using this information.